It has been more than 100 days of Putin's brutal, aggressive, horror, and destructive war in Ukraine. Technically, Putin has lost the war in Ukraine. The purpose of the invasion was to seize Kyiv, topple the government, and install a puppet regime. But the fierce resistance of the Ukrainians made Putin change his mind. Putin's inability to seize Kyiv has made him more brutal and reckless, and he is waging a war of total destruction in the east, trying to get some form of victory by all means to serve his fanatic supporters. The war in Ukraine have implications on Africa. Putin's naval fleet in the Black Sea have blocked shipments, and we say that commercial vessels can no more access Ukrainian ports like Odessa. We say that over 22 million tons of grains are sitting in Ukraine whilst people need it elsewhere. In the Horn of Africa, the people are already facing severe hunger. This is due to drought, climate change, and war. But Putin's senseless war in Ukraine is exacerbating this difficult situation. Currently, there are over 20 million people in the Horn of Africa who are facing severe hunger. The UN have stated that food aid to these people have to be reduced between 50 and 70% because grains are no more coming. Meanwhile, there are grains, flour, sunflower oil sitting in Ukraine, but due to Putin's blockade in the Black Sea, all these goods cannot be shipped. We say that again, the invasion of Ukraine tells us that there is no more global deterrence, and for this reason, any aggressive leader can as well commit aggression or atrocities against citizens. This is dangerous for Africa, where we have a lot of tyrants and dictators and military juntas. We say that this invasion will empower them to commit more atrocities against citizens. Again, on the global front, we say that the war in Ukraine means that countries will start thinking twice. Of course, no country wants to lose its independence and sovereignty. So what is going to happen is that there is going to be global arms race where scarce resources are now going to be channeled into developing weapons of massive destruction, including nuclear weapons, because every country will now work hard to get weapons to protect its sovereignty and independence, which means that countries that are already poor are going to suffer more because monies or resources that are meant to alleviate suffering of people within some of these countries are now going to be pushed into weapon destruction. Some countries are not rich, so if some of these countries also decide to build some of these destructive weapons, then of course they are not going to get the required facilities to store some of these weapons, and if things get out of hand, then it's going to be catastrophic for the whole world. Again, we are saying that the weapons that are being used in the Ukraine's theater after the war, it is possible some of these weapons might find their way into conflict zones. If some of these weapons gets into the hands of Islamic extremists and jihadists and terrorists, then the whole world will be at risk. So we encourage all countries that believe in sovereignty and freedom and independence to up their game and to speak out and to defend Ukraine. I am Emmanuel Mensah for Center for Global Policy and Security. Thank you.